Hi, it's me. I hope I'm doing this right. You guys let me know if I'm not. I'm testing it out. It's my first time live. Okay. I'm getting it set up. I hope. My IT guy, my son, is not here. He does all my IT stuff. He takes care of everything for me. He just got me a new cell phone that I don't like. Um, yeah, so welcome to Psychic Connections. You guys have sent in some absolutely great questions. And one sec. Okay, so we're going to begin. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I have received so many wonderful, wonderful messages, great questions, and we are going to address them. Um, if you're having difficulty seeing this, if you could send me an email because I'm having a hard time on my side, but I'm going to go ahead and continue. So thank you for joining us. This is Psychic Connections, and I'll be doing this every week on Thursdays at 3:30 Mountain Standard Time so that you can ask the questions that you've been hoping to find out answers for along in the areas of psychic, spirituality, and metaphysics, so that you can actually learn what's going on. And I really have some wonderful questions. Now, please keep in mind, I got a lot of questions, and we don't have, an entire 5-hour time frame. So this is about a 30-minute segment or so. That's what I'm going to start off with, to where I can answer your questions. So the first question, if I don't get to your question this week, it will be on the list, and I'll just continue first come, first serve, and I will do them until we get through them and continue adding, growing, and answering as we go along. So the first question I have is, my question is regarding experiencing a spiritual awakening and the physical symptoms that may arise, and how to progress past those physical symptoms and finally have the breakthrough that I know is trying to happen. This is from Brenda. Brenda, that's a really, really good question. So, as we go through a spiritual transformation, what's taking place is all of the things that are inside of us that we need to get rid of, that we need to heal, that we need to change. It's all about changes. It's about transforming who we were into a better version of us. So as we go through this spiritual transformation, there are certain things that you're going to encounter, like, for example, when I went through mine, there was a period of time I didn't like food at all. I mean, I literally didn't like food, and it just didn't taste good. It wasn't fulfilling. There was nothing about it that I liked. So I didn't eat, and I wound up losing a lot of weight. That's going to add to those physical symptoms. But as you go through, you heal the wounding. I didn't. I tried to repress mine, and I heard my angels talking to me. I heard my guides, and I was like, yeah, no, I ain't doing it. Ain't doing it, because I had a lot of healing to do, and I didn't want to do it. I repressed it. I did not want to do it. So I kept getting thinner and thinner, like I really could use, losing any more weight. And it changes our body. You can go through physical symptoms as you're healing and feeling the intensity of what's taking place, where it actually makes you look different than you normally do. There was a period of time I didn't look anything like me. I mean, I really looked different. My nose was different, my facial features were different, Part of that is because of the way we eat. You'll even find there's periods of time where you are absolutely repulsed by certain foods, foods that you love, 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 love. A lot of people, when they go through their transformation, can't handle meat, or they can only eat chicken but not beef. And they go through and it makes them sick. It'll literally make you nauseated. As you heal internally, each wounding that is done, because some of this is from way back, it could be from before you were actually born, whether it be in a different lifetime or while you're inside the womb. There are things that take place that affect us and hurt us because our soul is alive inside the womb. It's alive, it knows what's going on. Our human body doesn't, because it's not connected. But we bring all of that forward. And when we're thrown into this spiritual awakening, it's all about healing everything that's lying underneath. So when I work with my guidance clients and I teach them, you and I are working from here downward. So Brenda, you're working on the conscious level, trying to heal wounding. But the universe and the angels are working from the subconscious level. That's where we repress everything. So there could be a certain thing that that had taken place in childhood, because I don't know your specific situation, but it could have been something that hurt you. And you could have, let's just say a person, not you, but a person had something that was along the lines of poison, okay? And that caused damage. It caused damage in the soul. It caused damage in the body as well. So while you're going through and you're trying to heal the wound of whoever gave you this, or whatever the circumstances were for this person, they're trying to heal all of this. The universe and angels are pushing all of that forward. So you're feeling symptoms that do not make sense in your head. It doesn't make sense. You're going to have moments of bursting out in tears for no reason. You don't know where it's coming from. All of these symptoms that you are experiencing, there is a reason for it. And as they're pushing forward, you're trying to make sense of all of it. Why is my stomach hurt? You could be ingesting a lot of food that is hurting you, one. And two, you could be ingesting something that is triggering your soul to remember that poison item. You know, if we're talking about that other person, that thing that they ingested that hurt them on a physical level. So you're reliving some of the experience. You see, the journey is a simple journey. Go back, look at everything, heal it, and bring it forward. But the truth is, it's really not an easy process. It's very hard. So as you heal, little by little, it will start falling apart. You'll start feeling better. You will regain your energy because you probably are exhausted a lot. Like you just have no motivation. You don't want to go out. You don't want to mingle with people. That's part of the journey as well. Each healing that takes place brings you up a notch and a notch and a notch, and you'll start feeling a little bit better and a little bit better. You'll also begin to have an inner intuition of, yeah, no, I can't eat that, or no, I can't do that, or this alcohol, it's just not, it's not cutting it. You know, I don't want to drink. It makes me literally want to throw up, right? So as you go through this, you're going to start feeling better. That's when you're having the breakthrough. As you begin to feel better, little by little, and these are baby steps, you'll start feeling better, and you'll know. Now you have the knowing. As I feel better, I know that I'm healing and I'm getting ready to have my breakthrough. They're like mini breakthroughs, okay? So you have 10 symptoms and one of them comes off and you feel a little bit better. And then you have another and you feel a little bit better. You'll feel it as you go along. That's a really good question, and I hope that if I didn't answer it correctly, just send me an email, okay, and I'll define that for you. Now the next question is from, excuse me. The next question somebody sent an email. I'm just making sure that it doesn't have anything to do with what I'm doing. Hopefully this is working. Um, this is a good question. In a twin flame connection, can you explain free will? How will one know that the other has chosen free will to not come into the union ever? This is from Lawrence. Lawrence, that's a really good question, because twin flames are a little bit different than a soulmate. Twin flames have a more intense, believe it or not, when you're on a soulmate journey, there's nothing like it. It's so intense, right? That connection. It's even greater in a twin flame scenario, because that is the other half of your soul. You guys are connected. That is your eternal other half. When you die and you go on the other side, you will always reconvene with your twin flame on the other side. If you meet your twin flame in a lifetime, which we don't, typically we don't meet our twin flame until we've been here at least 10 times or more. When you meet them, it is a deeper connection. And the telepathic that the two people have is even greater. It's a greater intense, and the conversations are deep. You literally can start arguing, having all of these intense. Well, you can do that with a soulmate too. But the connection will never die until the two of you have a heart-to-heart, reconcile your differences conversation. Now, twin flames can choose to go together, or they can choose to go apart, just like a soulmate can. The universe wants twin flames together in the same lifetime for a specific reason. You are meant to walk the spiritual path together, but that doesn't hold either of them up while you're waiting for your other half to do their healing. It can be years. It depends. Twin flames have come from a tremendous amount of abusive background. They have a very, very intense healing that they need to do. And it's a lot, and it's heavy. And a lot of times they're afraid to go back. I met my twin flame, and that's what kicked me into my spiritual transformation. This last transformation that I went through, he and I had, like soulmates, we're identical, right? We mirror each other. He and I actually had, he and I had very similar lives. I grew up in an environment where I was raised by a narcissist. I was abused. I was sexually molested. A lot of negative things took place in my life. And he had similar type situation as well. So when we go back to do the healing and you're looking at your past, sometimes you feel as though you're reliving it, okay? Even though you're not, you feel like you're reliving it. And I was able, through my transformation with the help from above, to figure out how to separate the two from each other and find out a way to go through this process without, I can't find you. I hope you guys see me. Anyway, he and I had a conversation. He wasn't ready. He told me, I don't want to do it. So he had already received the messages from the other side and knew that he was supposed to do his healing. He didn't want to do his healing. Although I started off as the runner, I wound up being the chaser in the end. And I started doing my work before he did. I only repressed it for 8 months. And he didn't want to do his healing. He said, I can't. Now, he and I have this innate connection. And you will, if you're a twin flame, you will feel when they're healing. You will feel it. You will get the butterflies in your stomach, just like on the soulmate side. You will feel the butterflies in your stomach. Those butterflies are letting you know that something is coming. As the person who's getting the butterflies, you'll know something's coming, something's coming. This can be your partner actually saying, I don't want to heal, I'm afraid. Butterflies represent the fear, the panic, like when we're a child and we get called to the principal, we get scared because we think we're in trouble and they just want to tell you, great job because you got all A's. But you know that feeling, you're super scared when you walk in and you get those butterflies in your stomach. You'll feel that from your twin flame, okay? This is either going to be them thinking about you, knowing that they need to reach out to you, or it is them saying, yeah, I'm scared, I don't want to do this work. And you'll know because they will contact you. The divine works in a wonderful way where he will, and I do refer to him as masculine energy because that's the way I receive it. He will actually create a scenario for the two of you to meet. Now, some twin flames can go years and years, but again, if they're in communication and they're on that hamster wheel where nobody's jumped off, the healing never took place. I'm talking about when all the healing's done. So if you've gone through all your life and you've healed everything and you've received the message of the path that you're supposed to go on, I guarantee you, your twin is going through the same thing. They're just a little bit behind you. The universe, when they've done their healing, will create that scenario, whether they push the person, the runner, to contact you, meaning they'll be seeing all these synchronicities and you see some amazing stuff through this journey, things that you'll be like, whoa, did that just happen? But you will see these things, and that's what your partner is going to experience. And as they experience this, they're going to feel the pull from you. They're going to have the inner knowing that they're supposed to reach out to you, and the universe is going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing them, whether it be picking up the phone to call you or text you, or telling them you have to go to a trip, pointing signs, pointing synchronicities, saying go here, go here, go here, and literally pushing. That's how they do it. They push us in a very subtle way where we're actually moving forward, but we don't really feel it. Your twin flame is going through this. So Lawrence, if you've done the work and you've done the healing and you've heard your life purpose, or you're aware that your path, in your new path, is this, this, and this, just keep going forward. You're going to feel that pull, and it's all about having faith in the unseen and the unknown, knowing that they will, if this is your true twin flame, they will make sure the two of you do reconnect. Okay, you will have that opportunity. So don't give up hope. Free will is when we have a choice whether we want to or not. When we're talking the twin flame scenario, it's different. The twin flames have to do the work. They can repress it, but they will have a tower moment after a tower moment after a tower moment where they are literally pinned up against the wall going, there's nowhere else to go but forward. And they have no choice, and they will wind up having to do it on their own. Angels will be there with them, of course, but they won't have people around them at that point. Free will is a choice. We can go on our path that is determined prior to our birth, or we can go off of our path. The whole transformation is about when we went off our path, getting back on it. So they will have no choice but to get back on it. There will come a day when the two of you reconcile, even if it's 5 years from now. You meet in an airport, or you're walking down the street and see a book and their picture is on the book, and then you reach out and you contact them. God will create a way for the two of you to come together once the healing's done. So don't worry about free will in the twin flame scenario. Free will in the soulmate journey is a little bit different. They can say, yep, ain't doing it, not gonna, and then they're gone. And then you will feel the disconnection. You won't feel the disconnection with your twin flame unless you specifically ask the divine to release you from that intensity, because it is intense and it is so deeply, deeply intense. So I do hope that helps you get an idea of that. Now, the next question we have is, oops, I went too far. This one, if I get there, I want to do them in order. This is from Mariana. Hi, thank you for sending in your question. Does negative thoughts and emotions affect the deliveries that God and the universe have for our lives? In this sense, in the sense that our state of being can alter and delay those good things that are prepared for us. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You see, we are going through this journey so that we can have faith in the unknown, that we have that connection, and you will have a connection to the other side. You will be seeing angel numbers, you'll be seeing synchronicities, you'll be feeling that connection. There are things that are, miracles. You're going to see miracles every day through this journey in one form or another. When you think negative thinking, that keeps you stuck on a low vibration, meaning you're not going to heal. You're going to stay right where you're at, maybe even go lower. You're going to feel stagnant. You're going to feel lifeless. You're going to feel an intense amount of pain. And they do that for a reason. They want us to feel way down here so that we want to go up. We want to move forward. So those negative emotions, when you see those miracles that I'm talking about, or when you see the angel numbers, like right now, I am seeing 444, 444, 444 everywhere. Okay. And what I'm doing is asking this, and I ask questions, and then they answer through those angel numbers. So I turn around, look at the clock, it says 144. I walk outside and I look out, and there's a license plate that says 444. Okay, so that's how they work. When we're in the negative mode, we don't even see those numbers. We can't recognize them. So when you're starting your journey, you're not seeing those angel numbers. But as you continue to go along, you'll start recognizing them. You'll start recognizing the synchronicities that are going on around you that we view as a miracle, because it really is. And let me give you an example of that. I was really negative one day and feeling a bit in despair, right? And thinking that, negative stuff. I was thinking negative stuff. And this was quite some time ago. But I had asked a question about my other half. And I was looking at an email. I've shared this with my guidance clients, so they're aware of what I'm talking about. But I was looking at my email on my laptop. Now, I wasn't in an email, so it listed all the emails out. And then on the left, it showed, sent, saved, all of this stuff. But no email was open. And I had asked, will I be hearing from him soon? And then I saw this little, through the corner of my eye, I saw this message. It was like an email in a real small square, which does not do on email. We all know that. It was up in the left corner. And I looked and I started reading it. And I was able to read 3 lines, actually 3 lines. I looked and looked deeper, and it opened up a little bit bigger. That was a message from he and I that I had deleted months ago, months prior. I had deleted it, and I'm looking at it going, what the heck is that? And then when I went in to do a search to find it, it wasn't there. Those are the miracles that I'm talking about. If you're in a negative state of mind, they were communicating, they were answering me, but in a negative thinking pattern, you wouldn't have even noticed. If you did notice it, you'd have said, yeah, no, that wasn't real. So yes, the negative thinking can hold you down and repress you from moving forward. It can stop your healing progress. So make sure you focus in a positive direction. And when you do, that's a form, positivity is a form of being open to love. So when you guys hear me say open to love, I'm not talking about romance. I'm not talking about love, in that way. I'm talking about love on an innate level to the entire world, right? Like right now, I have so much love for you guys, and it is real. It is absolutely real. And that's what I'm talking about. It opens you up to a whole different level when you think positive. So yes, you need to think of those positive thinking. So the next one, this is from one of my guidance clients. This is from Fran, and she's so beautiful. I just love her so much. When you go through and complete a transformation, will the person who completed the transformation be able to experience the ascension process between the 3D plane, such as being able to move or travel spiritually from the 3D to the 4D or the fifth dimension? That's a really good question. As we go through our spiritual transformation, there are things that happen along the way. We can actually gain a heightened sense of intuition. We can even actually encompass psychic ability because there is a difference between the two. So, for example, I'm on the 3D level. We, all of us right now, are on the 3D level. We are human beings, and that's what level we're on. And as we have this connection and we have the gifts that come with it and the ability to connect to the other side, we do move forward. So through your journey, you are going to reach different plateaus. You're going to, that's the telepathy, where you can really hear them talking to you. You can have a real conversation with your soulmate, talking, and they answer you. You can argue and fight and have all these discussions. You can apologize. You can do all of these amazing things. If you are not psychic, when you are done with the journey, your intuition will be heightened. It will most likely stay heightened because that's part of the journey. Knowing that inner knowing, following your gut, just knowing, right? But if you are truly not psychic, clairvoyant, empath, and I could go on down the list of all the different types that are associated with it, you won't have that ability that you do through the journey, okay? So when I went through my journey, I lost myself. Well, I told them to take it, and they did. And I didn't know what to do. I was like, I had to walk through this journey completely like everybody else, and I didn't realize how much I used it. So I only had my intuition, and then, of course, I could still hear them because that connection was not gone. So if you are a healer in any of those realms that I'm talking about, empath, psychic, clairvoyant, just all of them, it will become heightened if you already have that ability. Not everybody has it. You see, psychics have been here many, many times. We've been through the whole journey so many times, and we know we have this ability to go from those different levels back and forth, and we can travel back and forth. As I do readings for you, and even on my free YouTube readings, I am connecting with somebody in that group that is meant to watch that video. So there is a real energetic connection there, and I can move from the 3D to the other side, back and forth. And a lot of times I'm on a different plane than everybody because I'm in between. But as you complete your transformation, if the person does not have that ability, then they won't have it afterwards. But it will be more intense as you go along. So I hope that helped answer your question. If I'm not answering your questions right, you guys let me know, okay? Here's one more. Hi, Lorianne. I can feel someone or something around me in my home. I don't know if it's a ghost or a spirit. Question. How do you know the difference between ghost and a spirit? This is from Carla in Maine. Very good question, right? So some of you may have heard me talk about a ghost that was tripping my alarm off. It was waking me up every morning between 2:15 and 2:30. And I would get up, I would have to fan it. Okay, there's no smoke, there's nothing going on in my home, but as soon as I fanned the smoke alarm, it would stop. But it was also tripping my carbon monoxide detector, for gas fumes. It was tripping that off too. And as soon as I'd fan it, they both would shut down. I'd go back to bed. 10, 15 minutes later, boom, it would start going off again. It would continue like the first few days. I didn't know what was going on. I thought it was a malfunction. And then I realized, okay, they're trying to communicate to me. I don't know what they want. So I kept saying, what do you want? I don't know what you want. I was really upset. My dog didn't like them either. Um, I had to literally get up, and when I did this, it worked. I would get up and I would make a cup of coffee, go back to bed. I would just set the coffee on my nightstand, turn the TV on, but I didn't even have to have the volume on, and lay there, and it wouldn't go off anymore. They wanted me awake. Now, as I continued to go along, I was able to figure out, they wanted me to wake up early, start my day early, and become more organized and efficient. And I don't that's a psychic thing that I was able to figure that out. My point is, a spirit or a ghost could have done that. This was an actual ghost. I could hear them walking around on the floor. A ghost is on a flat level just like you and you will hear their footsteps going up the stairs, right? You can see that they are on the same plane. A spirit is on a different plane. So that plane can be about 3 feet higher than our ground level. So as you're looking out and you see them, if you see them, they'll be like floating along. The reason they look like they're floating is they're actually walking on their plane, but we don't see that gap. That, we can't see what that is. It's an actual blank gap. So if you're seeing the spirit, that's how you'll know. They look like they're floating. A ghost can walk on the ground, feet on the ground. They can move things around. Both can touch you. Angels touch you. But also, a spirit typically has a black smoky around them. It can be gray, it can be black. Be careful of the black ones. They tend to go higher. That's my point. They're on a higher plane. So they can be 3 feet off the ground and they can be this far, 6 feet off the ground. That's why they look like they're floating. They're on a different plane than we are. You do not hear the spirit walking around. You do hear the ghost. Both can move things and both do move things. Yeah, so that's how you're going to know if you see them. If you don't see them, you won't know until you do. So, for example, because I have spirits around my house all the time. My oldest daughter hates it. She doesn't like to come in my home. What she doesn't know is they're around her too. But, and then my younger two, they're used to it because they were always around all the time. And my oldest son, he's a baby soul. So this is all kind of new to him. But they communicate with you in a different way. So a ghost is there trying to get you to listen to them. They're trying to get your attention. A spirit, not so much. They can just be hovering around. If you're psychic, they're going to be hovering around your home trying to catch your attention, and then they can tell that they're present. So if you're feeling somebody around you, ask them, what do you want? Just ask them. I feel you. I know you're here. I don't know what you want and I don't know who you are. But if you can give me a clue, then I'll know what to do and I can help you. You can ask a spirit to leave and they usually will. I'm connected. Yeah, my nose. I itch all the time when I do readings. Always have, even as a little girl. You can ask them what they want, and then as you see them, they'll reveal themselves. So if you're seeing them on a lower level, it's probably a ghost, and you'll hear them. A really good a boyfriend of mine, and he was one of the only ones that I brought into my home around my children. I kept my dating life separate from my children. This guy was a great guy. And he actually, one day I had got up to get coffee and he was in bed. And when I came in, he was like, ugh. Now he's 6'4", gorgeous Nebraska football player guy, 240 pounds, beautiful, beautiful person. He was all like scared in bed. And I'm like, what's going on? He said, I was laying in bed and I heard you come in the room and I heard you walking around the bed and I felt the bed move and I turned around to talk to you and there was no one there. So he felt the bed move. He heard the footsteps because you can actually hear them walking, and then nobody was there. That's a good idea. It's a ghost because you can hear them. A spirit you don't hear so much. So, this is our time for today, and all of you who've sent the questions, they will be on the top of the list for next Thursday, same time, same place. Hopefully, I did it right, but I know we'll find out if I didn't. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I wish you all the best. Much love.